They just have a dash cam and they have whole YouTube channels where they never even speak, but they're showing you the hood in Belglade. They're showing you, Flagler, Ocean Drive. They're showing you all these places, and they're getting paid now, which is a beautiful thing. Same thing if you go to the club every Friday, or if you go to the pottery or a cooking class. I'm going to a cooking class today out here at Palm Beach. I could film that, and I'll probably take some shots, but I'm also, somewhat private, just because it depends who I'm with. I'm not telling you everything I do, but some folks don't mind that. So you should monetize that part of your life that you're comfortable with. I jokingly say, man, some of y'all spend so much time in the bathroom. You got a bathroom show, right? Sitting down with, and you insert your name there. But whatever you're doing, and even platforms like OnlyFans has taken it to a whole nother level where you can even be, raw and ratchet and do whatever you want to do, and people will pay to see you. And that's not a new thing, because there was always webcamming, back in the day. But it doesn't have to be the same thing for everybody. And that's the beautiful thing about being an individual.
Listen, okay, listen. I love how you just broke that down. So what I get from that, and this is the part for me. I posted it on Facebook. Shout out to all the Facebook viewers if you're watching live on Facebook. But I posted to the other day, and I'm like, what did the post say? Because I want to make sure that I don't be lying, because I don't be remembering that well sometimes. But but it said, I said, here's the point, and I put the point first. Here's the point: do what you want to do, be who you want to be, and don't be afraid to change your mind and do something new. The people who are running their mouths are just upset that they didn't and don't have the courage to step out of their comfort zone and be vulnerable enough to share their gifts with the world. I said, and then I said, my resume for the next life will go something like this. Them. So tell me about your job experience last time. And then I'll start with, well, I was a daughter, mother, wife, friend, personal accountant, financial advisor, communications engineer, network engineer, seasoned analyst, contractor, CEO, actual CEO, veteran, auntie, chef, DJ, chef, poet. Basically, basically, like hostess, realtor, brand architect, and I just listed everything that I've ever wanted to do and decided to step into. And it's just like, I love how you put it into real tangible things. Like, it doesn't look the same for everybody, right? And so my question to you is, for the people, um you've mentioned that you started in PR, right?
I started in journalism. I was just
Journalism.
writing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where got my feet wet.
Okay, so how did you get started? Did you have formal training, or you just fell into it, or what happened? How tell us about that.
When you're in middle school, and they say, hey, there's I went to a middle school. We were like the first class, right? And they had a newspaper, and I would periodically do some stuff because I was always a writer in my personal life. So by the time I got into college and got politely asked to leave from this particular college, and I gotta go back home to California, and I say California because it will fool you. I'm just sitting trying to figure life out, and I stumbled across a magazine called Explosive Magazine. Next day, I hit the owner. He said, "Come up here." Tells me, "Hey, you want to go to a Mad Lion concert? Man, I ain't got no money. I'll pay you in CDs. Pick whatever you want." Right? That has that's how I got my feet wet. What he didn't know is I was headed towards the Harvard of the South shortly after that summer ended. And I went to Grambling. That's Grambling State for y'all who don't know. And I was then even more valuable than him because I knocked out a few interviews in the time. But then he was like, wait, you're going down south? Man, I got to pay you because you can go be my marketer out there as well as a journalist. So there's value. And, within probably 3 months of going to Grambling, 3 to 6 months, something like that, I'm working with all the other magazines. So now you get to know everybody. You get to meet people at Universal, like Vicky Charles, who put me on a lot of game. And it's just like things just organically happen when you are easy to work with. Does that, does that, I hope that, I don't like to
Yeah,
go
no, no,
on
no,
and
no, no,
on.
no, no. I need that. And guys, superchargers, if you have questions or you want some clarity, just go ahead, post it in the back channel because here's the thing. Um, the thing about it is this is how we grow. And I feel like for so much of my life, I didn't understand what it meant to actually monetize who I am. And that's why I'm so heavy on the personal branding because personal brand says, who are you and what parts of you do you want to monetize? So the fact that you got started in journalism and then as you say you were politely asked to leave the college. I never heard that before, Kellen. You are a true journalist. I ain't never heard that before, but you were politely asked to leave the college. The thing about it is like you didn't let that stop you, right? You didn't let that stop you. You continue to grow and to move into the next step. Now, here's the thing that I know about Kellen that you guys might not know, but Kellen, are you in Africa right? Where are you? Where in the world is Kellen? Like, are you in the US right now or are you somewhere
Yeah,
else?
yeah. I'm right here in Palm Beach County. This is home, and and enjoying this sun because the rest of the country doesn't have it like this. So yeah, I'm here right now.
So and the reason that I asked that is because when in our conversations, well, first of all, yeah, we're friends, so we actually talk in real life, just regular general conversation. But in our conversations, you were speaking about actually becoming a citizen in Zim. I don't. I want to say
Sierra
start
Leone.
Sierra
Yeah, my,
Leone.
my
Okay.
family and I, we became citizens of Sierra Leone due to AfricanAncestry.com. Shout out to them and Gina Page and Diallo. They put a lot of work to allow African Americans who go through their system of AfricanAncestry.com. You take the results and you can apply for your citizenship. And, I was one of 43, 44, something like that. And it gives now options to be able to stay in Africa, which I've been going to Africa for, 20 years, but now I don't have to leave if I don't want to. Because I have a place that I can stay and I can go to 14 other countries and go visa free with my ECOWAS passport. So it's a beautiful thing.
Wow. That is a lot. So, okay. So, give us the simple breakdown of what or the simple did you I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like that gave you, to me at least, a sense of freedom. Like cuz I mean, am I wrong in that? Like a sense of freedom, like where you really, like you're not tied to one country. Like you said, you can go to Africa, but you don't have to leave if you don't want to. So what did that actually feel like? Because I know for some people that can be scary, to actually say I'm going to leave this country and I'm going to live in a different country. So how was that experience for you and your family, if you want to share?
Yeah, I'm an open book, and that experience, this is what again I wrote the vision down at 12. That's what Habakkuk tells us to do in the scriptures, right? Write it down and make it plain. And so I knew because my life has always been around international people, just, whether it be neighbors or people in school, that funny person talking and you say, where's that accent from? I want to know, like, Ben Aki, come closer, teach me something. So that was always a goal. And because I did have as a child people from different places, the Bay Area is a big mixing pot, and you have everybody, there in class. For me, the freedom is I see the writing on the wall for America. And when we study, history, we know all empires fall and they have their ups, their downs. And I always wanted to have options for me and my family. Always, before I even had a family, I knew that I want to be able to get out of here quickly because I ain't fighting. Yeah, everybody else can pick up and fight, and shout out to you for being a soldier and fighting. But from, what the government will use you and won't even say thank you. And pay you very low. And not care about the soldiers that they say help, with the freedom. But look how many of them are suffering, with not just the one with the mental health, but just financially, sometimes trying to get a job. There's not a good transition from some of the people that I know. You got to really go out there and take it. That's easier said than done, depending on your job and what you had to do. So for me, the freedom is, and even now, Mexico is allowing us to have residency, temporary residency for 4 years. And then you can go get permanent residency after that 4 years. And if you can pass the test in Spanish, if the rules stay the same, you can get citizenship. I'm looking at all citizenships, all residencies, because that's what the wealthy collect. And there's a reason why. So they have options. All these Russians running and leaving, they don't want to be in Russia right now. It's not a good thing, for some of them. Depends on what side of the political spectrum you're on. So that's why, for me, having options, and Black Americans, we need options, because everybody else has a home to go to. They can be welcome back in their home. We sit here and say, oh, we're indigenous. We're this. I don't care if you are indigenous, you're still tied back to Africa. If that's the first birthplace of mankind, you have some ties to Africa, and you need to go get yours. And, if you have an ear to hear what I'm saying.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And I love that part of the conversation. And here's the thing. So for me, I've been blessed. Number one, I have my cognition, meaning my consciousness. I am aware of myself. But I've been blessed to be able to live in four different countries. So I have more of a and like just to be honest, we keep it here real in the Supercharger morning show. Thank you guys for all the shares. Please continue to share the room, so we can get in the hallway, because people need to hear this type of conversation. But the 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 thing for me was it, and I noticed this when I talk to people, is I was talking to a young lady the other day, and if this was you, don't be offended, because I don't mean nothing by it, but me and you already had this conversation anyways. And she said, in relation to, y'all know I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. Like, to me, religions divide people. But anyways, I was talking to her, and she was talking about her religious beliefs, etc. And I just asked her one question, like, how do you know? Like, how do you know for sure? And what gives you the audacity and the right to make your religion right and other people's wrong? And it wasn't the reason I said it wasn't to try to get her to change her mind about her belief systems. It was just to get her to do some research. And she said to me, I don't go looking for she said, oh, it was crazy. She said, I don't go looking for knowledge. It just comes to me. And I'm like, little girl, bless her heart. Bless her heart. So bless her heart so bad. And when the real thing is like, people don't realize that when you're in a different country, you actually learn different things. And so most Americans, if you are an American and you consider brown people, they start the history brown people at slavery.
Yeah.
Not a moment before. So then how can you ever have a sense of freedom when not only your perspective started at slavery, but then the perspective of that other people have with brown people starts at slavery? So I think it's a good idea. Now, you also have trips to is it Cameroon? Is that right?
We're doing trips everywhere we can partner with great partners there. So far it's been all Black owned travel companies we've partnered with. We've gone to Kenya twice with Worldviews. We've gone to South Africa with the Real South Africa. And what I do is I use my clients platforms, especially the ones that I can really manage, and they have a great personality. And so we've been able to do that. And we're going to Ghana in October. And I will go to Cameroon with people, but I think that's going to be, I got to test some things out in the water. You know, we have a project out there building this bed and breakfast. And I want to first have people come that will, you know, they buy their own trip and say, I got a room for you. And I want to try that out before I do a full tour, because Cameroon is different than even Sierra Leone. You know, it's so much different. The language barrier sometimes for people can be intimidating. Not for me, because I don't speak any language perfectly. So I'm just going to, you know, get by either way. And Cameroon is bilingual, but it's more French based, especially unless you're like in one particular part. But yeah, Africa is here for us. I just want to show people there are options. And, you know, America, we complain a lot in America, but I'm going to take it back to, why are we complaining? The world is big and we're respected as soon as we, especially as Black folks, as soon as we leave that border. Even when you go to Mexico, even when you go to Canada, you know, Jamaica, they put some more respect on your name. And I want everybody to feel that.
But okay, wait now, because you said Mexico, but didn't we just see the what do you think about, do you have an opinion that you could share or want to share about what just happened to those four people who went to Mexico for, I think, a BBL or something like that? I mean, I know. What do you think about that, Kellen?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch what I say, because I don't know the full details. But one thing I know is, if you're leaving this country to go get your body done, which, you know, you're made perfect, like all that. I'm like Kendrick, you know, I'm so sick and tired of the Photoshop. Give me something real. I want to see some stretch marks, right? I don't. It tells me where your mind is. So first, we have to be on the same, like, you know, level to for me to make sense of what they did. I don't know that those people, and I can tell you how many people in Oakland got shot last week or yesterday or in Chicago, and how many murders did we have here, just here in Florida, right? Like, there's gonna be bad everywhere, but when you do travel, most of the people who travel that I know have never had a negative experience like that. And the fact that you're going there to go get a BBL, something that's, you know, to me, not necesito. Do you speak the language? Did you even know where you were going? Again, without knowing details, I don't want to speak, but bad things can happen anywhere. You know, my neighbors were shooting right before we came, because, you know, everybody out here in the country of Palm Beach got a gun, and they wake up to the gunshots the same way, you know, the old joke of waking up to the smell of gun smoke in the air. So things can happen. And I've known people here in Florida who have shot their neighbor, you know, accidentally. So I don't worry too much about that one case scenario, especially for the reason that I hear where they went. They were a certain type of person, and I ain't going nowhere. My people ain't going nowhere for no BBL, man. If you want that, get it right here on this soil, or you can't afford it.
Oh, listen. First of all, let me be clear. Kellen, I love you so much, but let me be clear on this. Me wanting my stretch marks to be disappeared has nothing to do with anybody else. And so for the ladies who agree with me, I wanted to say that out loud, because I think that, and I love you, Kellen, so much, brother. But I think that people have a hey Dax, what's up? I think that people have uh a lot of men have the perspective that we do things to our bodies for other men, but really most of the time it's not for men. It's, this is how I feel about my body. And I think that most men and most men don't understand, and I love that we getting into this dialogue. Can we skip to the good part? But anyways,
Hey, I don't think y'all do. I don't think women do it for us either. I think that's something internal with women and their self esteem. Because I don't know a man, a straight man, who, you know, even has ever said, "Oh, I like that." half the time, I hear complaints. But again, I got mine. You know what I
What
mean?
you say?
I got mine.
I got my wife, huh?
Yeah, my situation is straight and has been that way for 15, dang near almost, I've known her for 20 plus years.
I love it. My brother say, I got mine. And I listen, I'm gonna finish my point, but I will get to that right there because I think that's an important conversation. But when a lot of times women, we go through so much, our body changes so much after when we go through childbirth or childbearing years, and the thing about it is we just want to be us again. And I think that's really what how most women get started on that journey. They just want to find what is me again, because we give so much of our minerals, our guts, everything to bear children. And then it's like, you know what, I did that, I had these kids, I love my children, I love my family, but who am I? What is the best version of me? And I'm gonna tell you this: whatever it is that I need to look out there and find to get to my new best self, baby. Okay, I'm going there.
No, do you? It's not a dig, but it's just going to Mexico when your insurance is here. I know it's not covered. I just want to see people alive and succeed.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's no judgment. You want to go to Mexico? Cada loco con su tema. Tira la puerta, get out of this American door and do what you got to do. But just go where maybe you got some backup, some knowledge, and some security. Security is cheap when you leave this country in most places.
Right, right. And I don't know that family, and I don't know many details about that either. So, but my opinion is just you're a journalist, they don't always tell the whole story to us. Right, so by the time we get the story, it's not the whole story, and so you only have part of the facts. So I don't even believe I have enough information to make a full analysis of what I believe has happened there. But just a quick update. What's up, y'all? This is Supercharge Your Morning. I'm your host, Ms. Vernice K. Bell. And we have an amazing guest this morning, Mr. Kellen Cash, and he's just bringing us some good knowledge, some good information. And the thing about it is, if you're enjoying the show, please go ahead and give it the room a share. Um, because this is how we actually change. And I love for you all to be able to hear and learn from people who are actually living this life, who are actually monetizing who they are. And I know him in real life. So um thank you, Dex. And here's the thing. I posted in the back channel all the information that I got from Kellen about how to find out about your African ancestry, and his Ghana trip for 2023. And then he has his own platform, Diversified Game, which he has a podcast, and he bring amazing people near and far. And let me tell you, I meet some amazing people in the world, but Kellen is one of the few that actually will plug you in, okay, as he sees fit. But it's about exposure. So I love making sure that I can connect with my brother. So y'all give Kellen a good follow on all his social media platforms, and we're gonna get back to the show. So here's the thing. The question, I want to bring this back because I want to hear your perspective on actual marriage. What is your perspective? Because I see a lot of brothers out here, they don't know what's that, bros with passports or something like that going on.
The
What's
passport bros, yeah.
what's your perspective on that? If you have one you want to share, I'm listening, bro.
On the passport bros, particular.
Yeah, yeah. What you think? Like, do you think
Yeah,
you think men and women still need to be getting married? Like, what's up?
if you understand what marriage is, and I would tell people, you gotta read your scriptures. Like, and when I say that, people say, "Oh man, what you mean that white man's book?" I say the first Bible, man, from what I've seen, and I've been to Ethiopia talking to the priest, is the Ethiopian Bible. It got more than 66 books, so you need the full story. Understand, when we were in this country, they gave us that slave Bible, right? They didn't want us to know everything, but you have to ask what they're hiding. And that's a personal journey for you. I can't tell you what that is for you, but yeah, it's not good for man, especially this one, to be alone. I don't know I've never heard from a man, I don't need a woman. They could be an executive chef, they need a woman. And so I think, marriage, it's a business. It is a business. And if you don't understand that part, then you're either not married or you haven't been married enough, but you're combining your finances, your families, like when the mob got together, right, with the five families. If you do your history, like this is we're marrying our business together so we can be a stronger unit. And I grew up, I my grandmother had 13 children and everybody was married. Now everybody's marriages might have looked different, and how they last and how long they last, but most of my people still who are alive still are in a marriage. So I don't like, I just grew up where, yeah, that's the norm for me and mine. And I think that, if you listen to the internet, this YouTube, this Clubhouse, you hear a lot of single people, no diss to the single people, talking about what they think a relationship is. I mentor people, paid mentorship in this. I have 4 couples and I'm always looking for number 5, but I got to be able to do the wedding. I tell them, because I am, ordained to do that. And you, you need a team member when you get sick. You need a team member when you get old. I'm living right now my life. We planned this when we were in college, 20 years ago, right? We were planning what we were going to do, where we were going to live. So it took a special woman to understand that I do have some, some crazy ways. Men, we all got some crazy ways, some crazy things we're going to say. But we were planning things out on how we were going to live. And it had to work out because, again, we're marrying these families together. And I didn't get married. We were dating for 5 years before we got married. But yeah, I think marriage is a beautiful thing for most people. But if you think like, and you talk about the passport bros, I love the movement because my wife is from another country. I met her in college. She's a genius, right? And but if you have to go overseas, my first or I should say my first real girlfriend in high school, maybe second, depending on if my cousin is listening, was from Spain. Like that international plug has been able to take me places that the American plug would not have exposed me to because they didn't know. So I always love getting game from older people, especially, older women. And marriage is one of those things. You gotta be a friend to have a friend, is what the scriptures say. And a lot of people just aren't friendly. A lot of people are nasty. A lot of people are selfish, and a lot of people aren't consistent. So that's why they struggle, not just in marriage, but in their, even their friendships. It's hard for them to have friends because they don't know how
Ooh,
to be a friend.
ooh, wait, you are listen. I know you done stepped on some toes this morning. You stepped on a lot of toes this morning, brother. I'm just saying.
With love.
You stepped on a lot of toes. I know you stepped on these Facebook people toes. You stepping on Clubhouse people toes. But listen, listen though. I love most of what you said. And here's the part that I want to point out is pay close attention. He said the Ethiopian Bible, right? And the Ethiopian Bible versus the American Bible, like it's not, listen, y'all, it is not a conspiracy. There are vast differences. Okay. The translations are vastly different. Okay. It just is. It just is. Now, I don't have an Ethiopian Bible, but I have seen one. And there's so many differences. And so my only point is this, and even pointed out, you don't have to change your religion. You don't have to say one is, you could keep your belief systems, but explore. Don't be ignorant. Don't allow ignorance to keep you bounded. Okay. And personal self-enslavement. Don't do that. But also the part that you said about you got to be a friend, like I think for me, I kind of like forbade my daughters to watch romance movies. You know, we had this conversation, Kellen, because I felt like the romance movies gave me a false sense of what relationships are supposed to look like. And I think that growing up, I always had wanted the best of the best. And to me, what I saw on TV was the best, right? What I to me what I saw on the, you know, as a young one, I what I saw on the movies on Brothers and uh the best man, like I thought that was the real relationships, right? They didn't necessarily show what real relationships look like. Anyways, nonetheless, I have learned that the perfect relationship is the one that you create. Like, really, right at the end of the day, the perfect relationship is the one that you create. It's the one that you work on. It's the one that you decided to be somebody's partner on. And it is a business, right? People like listen, y'all know why I tell it like a TI is. I can't stand these people that get on the internet and be like, oh, you ain't want me when I was 700 pounds. No, no harm, no foul if you 700 pounds. But you ain't want me when I was 700 pounds. But now you want me because I'm 100 pounds. Of course, you want you now. You know, of course, Kellen, bro. You know, of course, you want you too now. So, of course, it's just what it is, right? It's just what it is.
All day. It is what it is, and not everybody will agree, and that's a beautiful thing too. But shout out to the passport bros, because if they can really go out there and find love, and not buy women, but like really find love for whatever their reason is, I think that's a beautiful thing. I always say you might want to keep the person there in that country, because this country has a way of, I don't want to say corrupting, but it just has a lot of weight. This country is great for making money, but really to enjoy, your family and your friends, and be able to take time and jump in the pool and not have to look at the clock and hit the grill one time and water your plants and hear the roosters crow. Like, this country will have you running on that wheel, where many countries you leave, that Western area, you can kind of sit back, and it might take an hour to get some dinner, some breakfast or something, but you're having a great conversation. And actually, my kids really know me. I'm not just some dictator telling them, hey, make sure you do them dishes and sweep. Like, they know me. And that's a beautiful thing, and I wish we all can have that.
Yeah. I like that you said that you know your kids know you. That's a real thing. And I think that I think that we have a generation, we're gonna see it here. We're not gonna see it right now, but mark my words, we have a generation of children that are not gonna be empathetic because they don't know their parents. You know, a lot of I want to say maybe it was my generation, whatever I am. I think I'm a millennial. I don't know. I might whatever.
We the first batch.
Yeah,
I'm hanging
that's what
on
we
to, the first batch.
we out there. Because our parents worked. Well, my parents worked really hard, and they were at work a lot. So I although like my mama didn't play with me. Like, we didn't play games. Like, she going to work, she gonna come home. I mean, when I was a jit, when I was little, we played Candyland, and she used to beat me all the time. So now I hate Candyland. I cannot win at that game. I hate it. But I really do. I hate it. Like, for real. Like, for real. I can't win. Even if I cheat on the kids. I still don't win. But I don't know. Like, I feel like it was a trick. It's a conspiracy, but whatever. Um, yeah, but my mom didn't play a lot of games because she worked. So here's the thing. Um, I want to make sure that we're answering questions. So if you have questions about oh, Angeline says it's sold out, bro.
And
The
so
this
I'm looking, and sometimes you can Google it. Sometimes Amazon has it. If you do a little research on the complete, if I can find another link, I'll put it in there. But yeah, it does get sold out. But bookmark that site, and they will, they will re recop re whatever. And Vernice, just so you know, I had pushed my interview back that I was going to do at 10 in case there were questions. I said, you and I going to talk. So I had made adjustments prior. So do what you do.
Oh, look, and I was about to be respectful. Amen.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here though, because these are the kind of conversations that I think we should be having, like for real. And I'm all about motivation and stuff, but I also want to make sure that you have the tools that you can use to transform your life. And one of the tools that I believe firmly you need, and this is not a paid advertisement. Okay. This is just how I feel. Uh, one of the things that I believe helps build your arsenal and growing your next best self is actually visiting for more than a day or two a different country. Actually going there and spending some time. I don't mean a 3 days, 4 days, 5 day getaway. I mean like 2 weeks, a month, where you actually get to know the culture and experience the people. Because what happens is, and I love y'all so much. This is not a conspiracy. I've lived in 4 countries. I've lived in. Am I gonna count America? Yeah, let's count America. I've lived in Germany. I've lived in Afghanistan. I've lived in Kuwait. I've lived in Italy. So it's five, right? Um, I've lived in 5 different countries, and I've been a resident of three. So I was a resident in, not a resident in Afghanistan. I was a resident in Kuwait, and I'm a resident here. Okay, but my point is, when you get submerged into a different culture, when you leave America, I'm like you come with a new set, you come back with a new set of eyes. Because I'll never forget, I was in I think I was in I had been in let me see, I left in February, and I think I came back to the States in like August. So what's that, like 7 months I had been away. And when I came back and came through the airport, I noticed that everyone's head was down and looking at their phone. That was the first thing that I noticed when I came back to America. And I know that was 2012. So I mean 2011 or so. So I know now, if I left and spent a lot of time away and come back, there are going to be so many things that you don't even notice that are happening. Like one of the other things that I noticed when I moved from, now I had lived in Virginia for 4 years, but when I moved back to Florida, now mind you, I came to visit all the time. Now I want to hear your perspective, Kellen, of what differences you see when you leave and come back. But when I moved back to Florida, I noticed that there were a lot of third world nationals that were working the service industry. Like it wasn't predominantly Floridians. I'm just saying, right? So these are things that you notice when you remove yourself from an environment for an extended period of time, and then you go back. You go back with a different set of eyes. So do you think actually living in these different countries helps your perspective? And then what is one thing that you noticed that was different, if you did notice anything that was different, Kellen?
Oh yeah, there's so many differences. There's a weight that you have when you come back in the country that just gets on you, and there's a weight that leaves you. And it can differ if you're going somewhere for a week or if you stay out. I love to stay out this country for more than a month. And the longer the better. And it's just that you can actually tap in and people are genuine. When I go in other countries, and I'm gonna bother you about Italy because I'm gonna be going with my family to Italy soon. And we want to see everything, but you can't see everything in 12 days. But there's just something, like I say, America is meant to make money. It's the community part is just, it's dying down. And that's why I live out here in the country. Even though I'm a personable person, when we lived in Wellington, it was, I talked to my neighbors. Only the international folks really wanted to talk. There might have been one or sprinkled two, but you come off maybe like, oh man, who's this weirdo always saying God morning, always riding his bike, like he ain't got nowhere to go. um if I'm in, let's say, Cameroon, we can talk for all day. There is no rush. And I get the same type of sometimes energy in places, weirdly enough, even in London. I'm just talking and people are, having their beer at the pub and we're, at the chippy, we're chilling. But that might be more of a me thing. And again, showing myself friendly and sitting down. But I can tell you here in Palm Beach, I've tried to, talk to certain black folks. Certain black folk had looked at, you live where?
You
Like
better
they didn't
not.
believe.
You better not, Kellen.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say no names. I tell you that in private. But you live where? And it's like, yeah, man, don't let these love locks fool you. Like, I'm just telling you, we're neighbors, and let's link up. You down the street. It's not that exclusive. It's just, whatever. But, but,
The
but
gatekeepers, Kellen.
the gatekeepers are, just the asking people, hey, is there a group that fights for our young people out here or our people? And I've had a young lady turn her back on me out here in the acreage, or maybe they want to call it Westlake, because I was at the Winn-Dixie. And I started talking black, and she was like, turned her back, and she was like, oh, I said, I guess we're done talking. And it was just, I was started talking black. And she said, no, we don't do that here. Young woman too. That woman needed my help.
Was she brown?
Um,
Did she have
she
brown
was
skin?
all the way chocolate.
Oh,
Out here, you know, and this is, talking about the passport bros, they're leaving because there are a lot of disrespect that they have felt. And that's part of it. I know people who have been harmed or have harmed people for women turning their back, because you don't turn your back on no man. You don't know how crazy these folks are. But she needed my help in something little minor before we left the store, in that parking lot. But it was like, I'm not going to push you to talk black, but some people are so scared to talk, just talk, period. You got a lot of incels out there too, and some of those folks are passport bros. I don't think it's the majority, but we really have to like bring that community. So I merge well with international people. My AC people, when they come and fix the AC, they talking all day. Hey, one guan, da, 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 just going on and on. And they say, most people don't talk to us. The Amazon drivers, I say thank you every time I see them on the camera and they deliver something. And I say, y'all can drive up in the driveway. Y'all don't have to park on the street. Oh, thank you. Most people, they don't, they don't. I say, man, people are weird. We got these
yeah.
big driveways and you can't drive up, because
Because you
what? It's
might
going
you
to crack
might
the
you
concrete.
you might dirty their driveway. No, I'm playing. I'm serious though. But you know what? Here's the thing. And such an amazing interview we had with you this morning. But one of the things that I found out is it's not uh only that's not something that just happens in Florida. Like, when I lived in Virginia, and people would ask me where, oh, you live in Cave Springs? And I'm like, yeah. And it was the same kind of effect. It's like, oh, you're not from around here. Yeah, why do you think that? And I'm gonna be honest. um this is my personal belief systems. Good morning, Superchargers. This is my personal belief systems. I'm only gonna use my race card when it benefits me. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, it just, if you can't tell me how me being black or selecting the black box on your paper makes a difference in my business or in my community, then I'm not checking it. I might check Asian. Like, who? How you gonna tell me I ain't Asian? You don't even know. I'm gonna pick anyone that I might pick. Mexican, Latino. I'm gonna pick anyone I feel like picking, because I'm probably mixed up in there some kind of way. Who knows? Who knows what I am? I may be indigenous. Like, who knows? I don't care. So the thing is if you can't tell me how me selecting this box actually benefits, like I said, my community, the community, if it's going to benefit this segment of people, if it's going to benefit me, then I don't need to select it, because I'm not here for your appeasement. I'm not going to do that. So that's my personal belief. But as it pertains to, and this is what we have to get out of, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you got to retrain your thought perspective, right? Because I don't believe that being brown skinned has stopped me from doing anything that I wanted to do. That's just me personally. But I think it's like what Kellen was talking about. I think it's about relationships. Being willing to have these conversations with people, being willing to treat people like they're people. Of course you're going to get more back from that. You know what I mean? Of course you're gonna get it. So um of course you're going to get that kind of energy back. And welcome, Superchargers. I appreciate y'all pouring into the room. Please go ahead and give this room a share. This is Supercharge Your Morning, and this morning we are featuring no other than Kellen Coleman, or you can call him Kellen Cash. Kellen is the owner and a founder of Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, or CPR firm for short. They are a full service consulting and public relations company, and they serve physicians, governments, politicians, influencers, musicians, athletes, and the list goes on. Their next trip is going to be to Ghana in October of 2023. Excuse me. October 2023, the next international trip is to Ghana. And they're touring with the client of AfricanDiasporaNews.org. I posted the links in the back channel here on Clubhouse. And if you're on Facebook, you can look in the comments below. And really, I just want to make sure that I'm exposing my tribe to opportunity to expand your mind, to expand your experience here on earth, and to expand your tribe. Also, you guys can tap in with Kellen. He has a podcast. I believe the podcast is weekly, but just directly connect with him on Instagram, and you'll be able to find out what the Game Diversified is all about, what you can learn from it, and actually get some knowledge. So without further ado, Kellen, I wanted to yield the floor to you, because you're a man of so many talents, and I don't want to minimize you at all. And I don't want to minimize the tribe, because we have superchargers, whether you listen to this live or if you're on the replay. They're a vast amount, a vast community, and they're definitely connected. So with that being said, is there is there something specific, or what's next for Coleman PR, or what's next for Kellen Cash?
Really, only God knows. But I'm glad that we're almost sold out of this Ghana tour. And it's a luxury real estate tour. And again, we're using popular influencer to sell out, these tours quick. And after we sell out, we'll have hopefully another one. And it might be to, South America, to, show people that, we as a people were spread around this whole globe, and to be able to expose, my day to day, I'm working with people, different clients on strategy, and not just for business, but even like getting people's life straight, because people, like, not everyone had the same upbringing. But I also, for almost a decade, worked with youth in drug rehab and stepping down from a psych ward, an acute residential program. So a lot of times I find, like, the skills that you get around the way, if you have a job that you're like, I don't really like this, and it's not something I want to do forever, know that those skills later on can be used. And the older you get, the more you see it. And I've had all type of jobs. I've been politely, again, asked to leave certain jobs for having an opinion, wanting to do things differently. Can't do that when they're cutting the check. So that's why being an entrepreneur works for me, because I have ideas. And if you hire me for something, let us do what we do. If not, there's probably someone else who, needs that job. And that's, where I'm working on a teaching gig right now virtually, because I don't believe that universities that I had, even attended, they're not teaching. They got the same sometimes people who haven't been in the field in 20 years. So it's like, let me get in here and get these kids prepared to actually either create a business or at least say yes to a job, because it's not easy coming from an HBCU and then going to California or going to New York and saying I'm qualified. They don't know you. They know Stanford, though. They know NYU. So for me, it's just pouring into people. And again, this is paid stuff, but we try to make it affordable for all those who are serious. Because I see folks wearing Balenciaga. I see taking pictures on planes, on the stairs. I hate that, seeing people taking pictures on the stairs of planes. We understand the marketing side of it, but let me just tell y'all, nobody who's ever flown any type of private Cessna Piper even has been like, let me sit on the wing of the plane or on the stairs and be cheesing. Like, that's corny to me, but
Kelly,
to each his own,
Kelly,
cada
wait, wait,
loco
wait.
con su tema.
Wait, where my shots fired thing at? I need a shots fired. I know I got a shots fired on this somewhere. I can't find it. Somebody need to get me a shots fired. I need shots fired because
Yeah.
no, that ain't it. That let's go with that. Okay, because you stepping on toes this morning. But here's the thing. And I love the part that you said about college, because that's why I launched the Side Hustler to CEO program, is because the colleges were calling me to help their students. And you have to know that there is a difference between understand theoreticals, right? When you go to school, you learn theory, you learn process, you learn operations, etc., right? But those things don't necessarily work in the real world. And if any of my IT folks know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you may take a Cisco tech. My background is technology. So y'all that didn't know I was an engineer, now you know, right? You may go to get a certification from Cisco, and Cisco wants this one specific answer, but in real life, there's 3 ways that you could fix the same thing. But when you go there, and this is what I was talking about indoctrination versus actually learning, okay? They have indoctrinated you in college and in school, and then you get in the real world and you don't actually know how to apply this. Why? Because you didn't learn it. You remembered. There's a vast difference between the two, right? You might you can remember stuff, but did you learn it? Once you learn it, you don't have to learn it again. And so that's why I launched the Side Hustler to CEO program, because I realized it's a way for them to learn how to start a business and learn how to operate their business. And then the next step, right? Versus, and that's what the colleges, I've worked with University of South Florida, Florida Atlantic, and the Small Business Development Center, because again, they were telling them to remember, you post at this time and you write this down for your mission statement, and nobody told them why it was important and help them learn what it's for. So once you learn, for instance, once you learn that it's not knowing what time to post, but actually reading the insights for your specific tribe. Because if you just know to post at 12 o'clock, that may work for, I'm trying to give y'all an example. That may work for a short period of time because your tribe might be active at 12 o'clock. But what happens when your tribe shifts and maybe they go to a 4 o'clock hour where they're most active? Well, if you only remember to post at 12 and not learn that you have to read the insights and the analytics, then you're going to miss your whole opportunity, because you're still going to be posting at 12 and you're not going to know how to read your analytics. So you can start, oh, like, there's a shift in my market, I need to start posting at 4 because there's a market shift. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a difference between remembering and learning. Anyways, I digress. And the one thing that I was getting to my point here, is that, can you tell I'm passionate about teaching? I love teaching, but one thing,
Oh,
one thing that was that that really helped me. Oh my gosh, sorry y'all. One thing that really helped me stand out was really take a leap of faith is, I came out of meditation one day. And do you meditate, Kellen?
I do. I
Yeah.
do.
So I came out of meditation one day, and I had so much knowledge just filled up in my head, and I just started writing, and I was writing, and I was writing a workbook, and it just happened. And I came to a realization that there's really no difference between where I get my knowledge from and where the people who wrote the books for Harvard got their knowledge. Right? It all came from
Mm.
source. And I
Hmm.
and I'm saying that to the tribe today. Like if you thought you needed validation, you don't. You know, God qualifies the called. So if you didn't have what you thought you needed to do, what you thought you needed to get to the next level, just step into it. God gonna give you all the qualifications you need. It's not a certification that can prevent you. You know, I thought like my own journey, I thought that I needed a degree to do the next thing, right? I thought I needed a degree, but guess what? I didn't get the degree, and then the people with the degrees called me to help them. God qualifies the called, okay? Okay, so I'm just telling you that that can happen. It happened for me. You know what I mean? Now I have my own goals, but that happened. So, anyways, y'all make sure y'all tap in with my good brother Kellen. Listen. Okay. If you have people that you want to hear on the show, you want to see on the show, make sure you tap in with me and tell me who they are in my DM so I could try to get them on because I want to expose y'all. What's this good, y'all? Superchargers. What's this good? Give me some love or some hearts or some fire or something in the back channel because y'all been quiet back there. But I know Kellen, when they get quiet, that's because they learning. That's what somebody told me because they learning, they listening. I love it.
That's good.
Final thoughts, Kellen.
Final thoughts, man. You gotta just keep pushing. You know, we keep trying, and sometimes you're trying, and you say, "Man, fail." It's no failure, but it's lessons. But it's a blessing to be able to fail at something because at least you tried, and then with that trying, just here and there, you get these wins, and when you find that win. All those other failures, you're like, okay, I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again. I'll never go buy open up a trucking company without having, being able to buy two or three trucks. So when that truck engine goes down, I can still be up because, once you get your business and it's rolling, people are depending on you. And again, consistency is key. And if anybody, reach out, whether it's on whatever platform, LinkedIn, website, these social medias. I have the same link tree where you can go, you book some time. Everybody's situation is different. So, we just talk. We first have a conversation and we figure out where you're at. But I know my game works. I thank God for it. And I know that I have a team of people around me who, make me look like, oh man, he has it together. But it's really a solid team to make the dream come true. And God bless you. And thank you for having me on, Vernice.
Yeah. I really love it, y'all. Listen, let me tell you something. I thank you so much for joining the show. Number one, but not number one. That's number two. Number one, thank you for standing in your purpose, and thank you for continuing to stand in your purpose, and thank you for not being a gatekeeper, but actually allowing access. And if I had to call you a gatekeeper, you're more like which route do you need to take instead of being the gate blocker. So let me thank you for that, Kellen. I don't think that I've ever thanked you publicly, but I'm thanking you publicly now because you are that. And I'm advising you all to tap in with Kellen, okay? Because the man got the sauce. Okay, he do. Like I'm just telling y'all what it is. Okay, he's definitely connected. He got the sauce, but come with value. Okay, because y'all know how I feel. We ain't doing nothing for free. It took me how many years to get to this information, baby? It just ain't gonna happen. Now you could, and this is why I tell people you could do one or two things. You can go learn it, like Kellen said, it's at your library for free. You can go learn it and spend the time, right? You can go spend the time and learn it, or you can pay and cut the corners. You can cut the line when you pay because I'm gonna pull it all out for you. People like Kellen and I, we're gonna give you all the nuggets that you need, but you can get it for free. It just might take you a little longer. But don't knock anybody when they come and tell you, okay, this is the rate because that's just what it is. Um, Also, superchargers, I love y'all so much. Don't do your sister like this, okay? Don't do me wrong. Yesterday, I didn't do supercharger morning, but I did post it in the community, right, Angeline? So re-download your Mighty Networks app. I love you so much. Re-download your look, Angeline laughing. Re-download your Mighty Networks app, and so you can get updates. I will be posting this interview in the Mighty Network. So if you want to go back and listen to the whatever you missed. Definitely, he dropped the gems, he dropped the jewels, and I'll post those links for citizenship and the trip to Ghana. Inside now, listen, let me tell y'all. Let me give y'all this disclaimer. I'm not connected with the trip. So don't call me and ask me questions. You got to call Kellen. Okay.
But let me clarify that. When they come to me, all I have is that link because we are really just the what I do to overshare, I know what clients audiences want to see and do when they go to Africa. And so I say, no, we're going to do this. We don't need to see five different type of monkeys because Europeans in Europe and Australians, they like to do that stuff. Black folk want to tap in. They want to see where you can go open up a bank account if that's allowed. So I just, after I schedule and handle the business side behind the scenes, it's all on the tour company for you to hit that link and ask them all the questions because when we're on tour, I'm filming. I'm filming with the client. That's not how this deal works. So it's really on whatever tour company you see with that link, hit them up.
Boom. Okay, so y'all got the answer. We're facilitators providing access to the opportunities that we know that like this is trusted relationships. I trust Kellen, Kellen trusts them. See how that goes? Trusted
Yeah.
relationships. Like, right? Y'all get what I'm saying? So we have to learn how to do that. And if you're on the other end, you have to be that stand-up business person that stands for something. Okay? Don't let people do your people wrong. Y'all know how I feel about my tribe. I don't even play. I don't even play. But yeah, this has been Supercharge Your Morning. Kellen, again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really don't. Thank you, Angeline. I really don't play about my tribe. I love my tribe, but I need y'all to do me this favor, this real good favor. Go back and download your Mighty Networks because I got some juice that's coming for you all. For those of you all that are part of the Supercharger brand community, just know like Supercharge Life, that's me. Okay. And then I launched Supercharger brand because what I realized is side hustler to CEO was for some people to help get them started, help them learn how to run their business, etc. That's a startup. The next phase is actually marketing your company. It's actually expanding and growing your brand. So we have Supercharge Your Brand, and our first event is coming up May 7th here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We'll be in between West Palm and Boynton. But the date is May 7th. The link is going up inside of our community this afternoon. And so you all can go and purchase your tickets there. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a virtual day or not, but maybe I will. But the whole purpose of Supercharger Brand Day is to have my photographers and some good people that can help you actually grow your brand. That's the whole purpose. But you need content too, right? It's a content day. So thank you all. Facebook, if you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, go ahead and send us some stars. Absolutely appreciate you. Clubhouse, give us likes, follow, shares. Thank you guys for joining Supercharge Your Morning. And you know how this goes. If ain't nobody told you they love you today, baby, I love you. If nobody has told you you're absolutely amazing, you, my dear, absolutely amazing. Be the best version of yourself. But first, you gotta choose what that is. Peace, y'all.